welcome. Hi, I'm Hazel, and today we're going to be making Malfurion's mash from the Hearthstone Cookbook. And the reason why this one is at 11, which is a little bit vaguely unusual, is because Malfurion's mash, as I will find for you in this book, not at the end, is a... pages. Looks like this. It's basically mashed potatoes that you then rebake to make them like crispy and bite-sized, and I don't understand, but that's why we're going to try it. And I figure if I'm going to do this, I may as well do it sometime before lunchtime because, you know, somebody's got to eat. How are you guys doing today? Also, I set up a second monitor here because I had an extra one after I redid my monitors there. It's not a huge one, but it is bigger than my laptop screen. So I have a chat now, but it may look like I'm not looking at you when I'm looking at chat, so I'm going to try and like scooch it behind my camera a little bit, or at least close. How are you guys doing? Oh man, he walked through a spider web. Was that... I feel like at one point in my life somebody told me that was lucky, but that may have been just my grandmother trying to make me feel better. How are we doing today? Bacon on Wednesday, usually miss them on Thursdays because that's raid night. I typically don't do them on Wednesday because that's my raid night, and of course, this is nowhere near my old raid time, but it is, you know, I try and limit the number of different things that I'm going to do outside of my regular schedule in a given day, and when I try and do too much and then also raid, I usually die. But my raid's over for the rest of BFA, or for the rest of Legion anyways, not for the rest of BFA. So I can now do all sorts of things on Wednesdays. And I'm going to start by cleaning up my kitchen because I was a little late getting going, so I just need to like wipe a few things down and then we'll look at what needs to be done. I think we're going to start with like boiling some potatoes, so we may as well get that started in a minute. I hope actually, yeah, I have enough potatoes. It says I only need 2. It says I only need 2, which is a good start because I don't want to make too many of them because, again, it's just me for lunch. What's up, Sarah, Brian, Lucina, Matthew, Manuel? How are you guys doing? You got a phone? Phones are good. Phones are important. Phones are especially useful when you get lost. Watching stream while doing my math homework. Same as bird poo being lucky. People just trying to make you feel better. Yeah, well, I mean, it works, so there's something. I said I was going to wipe down counters over here. How's my Void Elf? My Void Elf is phenomenal. She's level 82? 82? 82 sounds right. It's been going pretty quickly, and I have a video that I'm working on. It won't be out today, mostly because of the stream. I'm going to put the VoD for the stream out like as soon as it's done processing, so that'll be for today, but it should be out tomorrow. And that has all of the fun things that I've been doing to level, because I really got, like, right halfway through the whole 60 to 80 thing, right around level 70, I was just feeling done with questing in dungeons. So I did a whole bunch of leveling that was outside of questing in dungeons, and then, and basically I'm just going to put out a video that's going over all the ways I did that. What's up, Kenzykins? How are you doing? Important so I can watch you from home, but to get all the Trial of Style sets. We're doing that on, we're doing Trial of Style on this stream, we're going to be doing it on Friday. I'm really hoping that it goes well, because Friday is the last day of it, so I am kind of doing it last minute, and I'm waiting. I'm not letting myself do any of it before Friday's stream, so we better do well on Friday's stream, because that's kind of, I guess I can do it Friday after stream if I need to, but, oh man. Velf, nice short form? Yeah. I feel like some races take more easily to being abbreviated than others. For example, I don't know what we're calling High Mountain Tauren or Nightborn Elves for short brows, just because I'm not on Horde, so I don't know what's going on in their general chat. But, I guess Lightforged Draenei is also a mouthful. I don't really know. But Void Elf does condense quite nicely. I was watching your math stream, glad to catch you live. So glad I can finally catch one of these. I love watching these and trying to cook along and never caught one live with work. Oh man, they're, the recipes are all really good. I can always, I mean, I haven't tried this one yet, so maybe it's not, but typically, when one of these recipes turns out, it is almost always my fault. I'm not the most experienced cook, I'm just really experienced at trying. Alright, so it wants me to preheat the oven, which I will do later because I know I'm not going to be ready. It says to roughly chop your potatoes. I guess we're going to, maybe I should start with getting some stuff out. We're just boiling potatoes. I can just get my potatoes. I got potatoes. This is too many potatoes. I only need 2 potatoes. I need 2 big ones, so let's identify the biggest potatoes here. I guess they don't need to be the biggest potatoes. I didn't really think that I would have so much potato choice. Ah, you've been called Nightborn Nelfs. Yeah, that's the thing is, I at first I thought they would be condensed in Nelf, but then, you know, Night Elves are already Nelfs. And Night Elves are already Night Elves, and you're a different type of Night-born elf. It's, Hazel, are you going to make me hungry again? Today I made a baklava. I hope so. I really hope these are good. I can't put everything in them. The gravy is optional. I don't have any gravy. I do have mushrooms. I could make mushroom gravy if I'm feeling like really fancy later, but I'm kind of saving the mushrooms so I can make quiche later. That's one of my weeknight dinner plans. I would rather not like completely run out of things to make for dinner later. Finally got invincible today. Grats! Love the apron. Why, thank you. It's very impressive that it's looking this clean because I took it out this morning and realized I had forgotten to wash it after last time, and I needed to. It had like some stuff on it. So I spot cleaned it real quick and then tossed it in the dryer for 20 minutes, and it looks like nothing ever happened, although I guess I spoiled it by telling you. But it's a good one. I never wear this when I'm not streaming, though. I only ever wear this when I'm streaming. I'm not really an apron person otherwise. I don't really have any clothes. Like, if I'm at home and I'm cooking, I'm not usually wearing clothes that I would care about getting stuff on. The only piece of clothing I really own that I take extra care to not get messy is probably my Savix hoodie. Like, if I'm eating dinner, I'll take off the Savix hoodie and I'll put on a different hoodie just for eating dinner, and then I'll swap after because I don't want to, like, get sauce on it. But everything else is like, I'll probably wash it. Norma is allergic to mushrooms. Oh, dear. Crispy mashed potatoes is a win-win. Crisp and soft. For a second, I thought you were recommending that I put them in a win-win, and I wanted to know what a win-win was. Well, it sounds like some kind of like a tofu thing. Waxy potatoes make better mashed potatoes. The starchy kinds are better for baking. It told me to use russets. These are russets, right? We'll find out. Like, the thing is, we're mashing them, but then we're also baking them. We're baking them after we mash them, so I'm gonna need a pot, aren't I? I should probably, like, yeah, put in a pot of boiling water. I should probably get my boiling water pot boiling. So there's one of those in here somewhere. Hidden underneath the spring-form pan. Now, since the Priest of the Feast cheesecake turned out so well, I really want to like, iterate on the cheesecake design, because, you know, places that do cheesecake always have so many different kinds of cheesecake, and they're, like, all good. Like, you can put fruit in it, you can get crazy with, like, Oreos, you can get crazy with, like, candy, you can do, like, there's just a bajillion things you can do with cheesecake. And I want to try them all, but it's a big commitment to, like, make a whole cheesecake, because then you have to, like, eat the cheesecake over the course of, like, a week before it goes off. I guess I could make one and then just have my husband take it into his office, and that's a good way to get rid of some cheesecake, but otherwise I just feel like it's just very heavy desserts for a week, and it usually takes me a few weeks to feel quite right after that. Oof! That's probably more than enough water. I'm only boiling 2 potatoes. That's way too much water. Whatever. I had a lid somewhere. The lid's in here. Do you like mushroom? If we're talking like food mushrooms, yes. I think that so typically when people make vegetarian food, there's 2 ways of doing it. There's the way that tries to pretend that there is meat, and it's just like making fake meat through the use of like tofu and soy products and whatnot. And then there's the food that tries to just live in a world that doesn't have meat in it and just uses other things and gets protein and, you know, nutrients in other ways. And typically I prefer the second one. Like, if I wanted to eat meat, I would eat meat. I'm not allergic. I'm not religiously opposed to eating meat. It's just something I don't like. So typically I prefer to avoid foods that are trying to like pretend that they're meat. And the only exception to that is mushroom dishes. Whenever there's like a mushroom dish, like a mushroom burger or some kind of dish that's putting mushrooms in the place of meat and then dressing them up in like all of the similar sauces and spices, those are usually pretty good. I can usually get on board with that. But whenever tofu is trying to pretend to be meat, it's not my favorite. I would rather tofu just be tofu. Cheesecake with brownies for the crust? I feel like I need at least a couple more rounds worth of effort on the graham cracker crumb crust, because I've only successfully done it once, and also I think I pressed it down a little bit too much last time, and it was a little bit tough to break apart with just a fork. It needed like some elbow grease to get into it. It was still very good, and it would fall apart in your mouth while you're eating it, which was delightful, but I need another few tries of that before I get too fancy. Oh, you know what I want to make is like a chocolate chip cookie dough cheesecake. That sounds like a thing I can probably find a recipe for on the internet. Like, that is what the internet is for, is learning how to make things such as chocolate chip cookie dough cheesecake. I made your shiitake cake lately. Safety gloves first. Yeah, I always prefer washing dishes with dish gloves, not because I'm terribly squeamish about anything that's gross, but because it makes my nails last longer. And also that means that you can wash with like really, really, really hot water, which is generally better for, I don't know, my parents always told me it was better. Sanitization, I suppose, although it's not like I've ever had a bacterial infection from a dish, but you never want it to be the first time. Okay, so let's chop these. So it says roughly chop skin and all, and then just put in the pot of boiling water along with garlic cloves. Oh, okay. So it says 2 to 3 cloves of garlic. It doesn't say to chop them. I'm assuming I should at the very least peel them. Maybe I should peel them and like squish them, like Harry Potter with his bean. You know, in was it the Half-Blood Prince? And he had, yeah, it was the Half-Blood Prince because he had his spell book, and then Hermione's like, no, you got to chop the bean. He's like, nah, I got the inside source. We're gonna squish this bad boy. I've gotten lost. Yeah. So I figure smaller is always, I mean, not too small, but I should probably make fairly small pieces here because that way I don't have to worry about them being undercooked. I don't know if I've ever had an overcooked potato. What happens when you overcook potatoes? Do they just get gummy? Do they dissolve? Do they despawn? I don't know what happens. I still can't see all the way over there. My necklace is hitting the mic. Oh, true. Yeah. Let me just scooch this onto my apron. That should be better. Sorry about that. So many people don't marinate tofu. It needs flavor. Yeah. I hated tofu as a kid growing up. And I hated, like, that was my least favorite part about not eating meat, was everybody assumed that meant that I liked tofu. And I couldn't stand it. But then I realized as an adult that nobody had ever made it properly. Like, people were just serving it, just like in stuff, you know. They weren't always cooking it, or if they were cooking it, they weren't cooking it properly, and it's very upsetting. But as an adult, I have learned that spicy tofu is the best kind of tofu, or at least for me. Should you peel them first? The recipe specifically told me not to, so I'm not going to, which is weird to me. But you know, we're gonna follow our hearts. Or we're going to follow the recipe, and then if it doesn't work out, the next time we'll follow our hearts. But yeah, it's a little bit of strange. I'm sure there must be a reason. There usually is. One more. This pile is too high. I've taken on too much. How's your guys' week going? We're like halfway through the week, which kind of snuck up on me, but... Is this boiling yet? No. I washed the lid just so I could put it on there, and then I didn't. There we go. 3 cloves of garlic, and I figure I'm gonna squish them. I'm gonna put my inner Harry Potter. You might want to peel the garlic, but with gloves, else your hands smell like it all day. Oh, I always I've never worn gloves while peeling garlic, or while chopping or peeling garlic. I guess I just have garlic hands. Like, who's gonna know? My cat. It's not like I'm really. If I was a massage therapist, then absolutely, yeah. But I kind of like garlic. No rough boil, bouncing them around makes them fall apart more. Overcooked potatoes do get gummy and sticky. Its with skin is more healthy, keeps all the vitamins in. Russets will fall apart and make tater water. All right. Overcooked potatoes equals soup. I do like making good potato soup. I don't know. I still haven't figured out how to make my potato soup taste good without adding like copious amounts of butter and or cream yet. But when I do add copious amounts of butter and or cream, it's pretty good. It's not low calorie, but it's food. All right. Are you boiling it? Are you boiling a little bit? You look like you're thinking about it. Move these over here. I probably should pull out a bowl. I have all these little bowls that I can put things in while I'm waiting so that it can look like I know what I'm doing, but then I have to wash another bowl. Cooking is all about just minimizing the amount of bowls that you're washing. That's really the whole objective. Food's just a byproduct. Mash has more textures with the skin. I've always been told potatoes should be cooked by putting them in cold water and then boiling it. Man. I don't know. You've been trying to grind up dark moon fair tickets, but I made like 2 cakes yesterday. They turned out amazing. What kind of cakes did he make? We're doing the next baking stream after this. It's in exactly 2 weeks. It's going to be an afternoon one, I believe, at 2 p.m., although I would double check that. But it's we're doing Stormpike Commando cupcakes, which is like cupcakes from scratch, and they're going to have like like when you open them or when you bite into them, they should have sprinkles like inside the cupcake. I'm a little bit concerned about the whole process, but there's no point if we can't, no point in trying stuff if we're not learning something. Ugh. It can't be worse than the cake pop thing. You can eat it with chopped green onions, sesame oil, and soy sauce. Oh, I see. It's Chinese. You don't understand people's problem with tofu. I rarely eat tofu by itself. It's an ingredient like potato. Yeah, exactly. Precisely. What did he say to serve it with? Green onion, sesame oil, and soy sauce. Yeah, that does sound good. I've been using, I got this big bag of Korean gochugaru to make kimchi with, and then I realized I didn't really want to get the jars and then fermenting weights that I would need to actually make kimchi, at least not in this place. I don't really have a place to put like a bunch of big mason jars, but I have been using it anyways, anywhere that I would really add anything spicy, like if I'm making like spicy tuna sushi, or if I'm making, oh yeah, I was just going to crush these, that's right. What else do I put it in? Anytime I'm doing like a tofu thing, or like I've been adding it to soup, and it's pretty good, which is good because it was kind of expensive. Do you have problems with cutting onions? You're going to cry. I have a good tip how you can kind of avoid that. How do you avoid that? Because I actually avoid cooking with onions. Not because I don't like eating them, although raw onions can go away. If they're cooked, it's fine, but if it's raw, I'm not having it. But it hurts. Like, everybody's like, oh, haha, you're cutting onions, you're crying, oh, it's so funny. And I'm sitting there, like, in pain. It's not okay. I wanted to get, and I know this is the dorkiest thing ever, but I wanted to get, you know how, like, in children's science kits, you know, when they're, like, mixing together really tame chemicals or really dangerous chemicals, because this is the 90s, and, like, doing stuff, they give you, like, a plastic goggles. I want, like, scientific lab safety goggles just for when I cut onions, because and it's, like, dangerous, because then I can't see, and my mascara's in my eyes, and I'm, like, trying to operate a knife, and it's, I've been seriously considering for many years getting a pair of goggles on Amazon just for that. Cut onions completely underwater to stop the tears. I wouldn't trust my own coordination to cut something underwater. I am minimally coordinated at the best of times, and that just sounds dangerous. Not for a normal person, but for me, for sure. All right, so we're gonna stand back a little bit, because that's gonna make some splashing. There's probably a better way to do this, but it's too late now. And around the potatoes. Get in there. We're good. Don't try this at home. I mean, if you try it at home, do so more safely than me. And that's on. Turn that down quite a bit. And you want me to do that for like, what, 15 to 20 minutes until soft. Strain, transfer to a medium bowl, and then mash. Oh no, what am I gonna mash them with? I've seen people mash them with like a thing. I don't have a thing. I have spoons. Oh, you know what? I have a hand mixer. That'll probably do it. Dicing underwater sounds difficult, though. I heard if you can avoid the core of the onion, it's not as bad. Swimming goggles work. Yeah, see, I think swimming goggles. See, that's probably less drastic than scientific goggles, although I have to decide which one would make me look more supremely cool while chopping my onions. Just don't cut the root part off first, is where the juiciest part is. Seems to help me a little. Okay, I'll try that. All right, I'm going to keep onions in the fridge. Keep them in the fridge. I could probably try that. There's no harm in that. I usually do onions when I'm making, wait, is there anything else I need to start working on? Maybe not. Maybe I can just make some tea and chat, because we have to boil these for like 20 minutes. And then after that, we mash them. Did I set a timer? No, I didn't. Boil those for 20 minutes, and then we're going to mash them. After we're done mashing them, we're going to mix together beaten eggs, salt, pepper, and cheddar cheese. Just easy enough. We can do that like in 20 minutes. And then we stir those. Once that's all together, we're going to drop it onto a baking sheet in large spoonfuls, and then bake for another 30 minutes. So it sounds like I don't really have anything to do for like 20 minutes. I'm not even gonna need, I might need this. I like to grate cheese on top of a cutting board just because it gets very messy when I don't. Okay, so I'm good for a bit. Let's make some tea. I always chew gum when I cut onions. It doesn't bother me as much. I just read it somewhere and I tried it and it worked. Put a piece of bread in your mouth and let it hang out while chopping. Okay, so we're going to put the onions in the fridge, and then we're going to put them in a big bowl of water, and then I'm going to put on my swimming goggles, and then I'm going to put some bread in my mouth, and then like some gum on the other side of my mouth. And this is just like a music video ready to happen. Very sharp knife. You can use a fork. I don't want to use a fork, and the reason for that is, so when we moved into this place, we got our own cutlery, because we were sharing cutlery before. And we got like this cutlery from Target, And it's fine. Like, it's a fork. It's got 4 prongs, or tines. It's got 4 tines, which I appreciate because I used to live with forks with 3 tines. We called them threeks, and they sucked. But the handle is, like, sharp. Like, these, it's not going to cut you, but if you're putting any pressure to actually cook something with it, awful. It just, like, tears up my palms. So, and you would think that, you know, after, like, 4 years, I would have bought some better forks. It's just never been that much of a problem for me to, like, go buy some forks. But I have a hand mixer that I can use, and I also have a stand mixer, and I also have a food processor, so I'm sure we're going to get the potatoes mashed at some point. I just subbed Hazel. Aw, thanks. Appreciate that. What are we cooking today? We are making these little mashed potato baked snack things. We've got potatoes boiling for now. And in the meantime, while the potatoes boil, I'm probably going to make some tea and then grab my stool and we can sit and chat for a bit. What is pu'er? Pu'er is a type of tea. It is a type of fermented tea typically. It's usually either aged or there's a process that they can do that actually speeds up the aging process. And those will make 2 different types of fermented tea. And it is typically quite earthy tasting for the show pu'ers. The naturally aged ones are very expensive and therefore I haven't really had a lot of them. But all of them are good for digestion and they're tasty and they're very satisfying. They've got like good energy, at least that's the way I feel. Sounds like it would make for a great thumbnail. Yeah, Hazel baking video shorts. You know, the cutting onion segment. I just come to try again, ask you the same question. I cannot believe you're wearing a lion, so we can talk about it later. Would you marry me? I'm still married, man. Still married. Use a sharp knife. The reason they make you cry is because your knife is dull. If you've got a ricer, you can use that to mash potatoes. What is a ricer? I have a rice cooker, but I feel like that would not mash potatoes for me. Don't blitz it too much or it'll make the potatoes gummy. If you want any Greek recipes, just let me know. Okay. I don't know if I've ever cooked really anything Greek. I don't know if I've done that. Juggling the onions while wearing a silly hat keeps you from crying. It might. Anyone know any tea recipes that help with the common cold? Okay, so nothing's going to cure your common cold or else we would have figured that out already, but things that make you feel better. Generally speaking, the fact that you're drinking hot tea is a great start because the heat is going to like... I always feel like it helps with my congestion, especially if you're inhaling steam. You want a clear tea, so you want a tea that you're not putting milk into because dairy products I find can not help. So you want a clear tea. So any herbal and caffeine can be not great. Of course, I always have to have some anyways because otherwise caffeine withdrawal is not great either. But basically what I'm saying is you want a clear tea. And the 2 that I like for this, or the one that I really like, is ginger or ginseng. So like herbal teas. And then you want to add honey to it because it makes it delicious. And honey, I've heard is antibacterial. I don't know. I'm sure it is antibacterial. I don't think that's going to help you with your cold, but it's delicious anyways. And also I find it soothing to the throat. And then a little bit of lemon, just like a little bit of lemon is the other thing. So usually honey lemon ginseng tea or honey lemon ginger tea are the 2 things that I do. And you don't even need ginger tea to make ginger tea. If you get like some fresh ginger, just peel a little bit of it and then grate it. And then steep that for like 5 minutes in boiling water, and then add your honey and lemon, and you are good to go. I always do that when I'm sick, and it always helps. Like a gigantic garlic press. When you cut red chili peppers, wash your hands after. I do actually have. I won't wear gloves when I cut garlic, but I do have gloves just specifically for. I don't cook with them too much anymore, but I used to cook with really hot peppers and gloves exclusively for that because I will not go in there. Cold isn't bacterial. I know. Just helps. It just makes me feel better. Nice to catch the stream live. You're great despite being a lion. Well, we all have our differences. A Chinese honey herbal syrup that's great for a cold. That sounds good. Not much of a tea drinker. Daytime mix helps me a lot. I Hazel like your lipstick. Thanks. Oh, love the outfit. I need to grab food if I'm gonna watch this though. I haven't worn the shirt in a while, but I found it in my closet and I decided that I really wanted to wear jeans, which I think jeans is kind of a stretch. They're like, you know, stretchy, not real denim jeans, but I haven't worn them in forever. Jennifer's, hi, how are you doing? You can do is treat the symptoms and get rest while you wait for your immune system to do its thing. Yeah. I find that, I mean, obviously lots of rest, lots of fluids, staying warm. And then I find that just keeping my spirits up is always important. I always kind of spoil myself a little bit when I'm sick, and I find that makes it go away like a lot faster. I take long naps, and if I want to spend an hour and a half on the couch watching really cheesy Korean dramas with my tea, I'm gonna do it. On a normal day, I can tell myself no, but if I'm sick, you're not stopping me. Okay, I was gonna make tea. We're spending all this time talking about tea. I was going to make tea. I don't know what kind of tea I want to make. Well, that one fell out of the cupboard, but I did have that one this morning already, so that's just cheating. That's not a sign. I think I want a pu'er tea. I think you guys talked me into wanting one of those right now. So I can show you, is this the one I want? Yeah, this is the one. So not all pu'er teas, but many of them will come compressed into cakes, and it looks kind of like this. So this is a pu'er tea cake that I've been working my way through. It's about half gone. And basically what you do is, and I'll show you, I guess. Put this over here for now. I guess I should stir this, just to make sure nothing's like burning on the bottom. Seems fine. I don't have a spoon wrestling. Whatever. So I will. Oh, I lost my teapot. It's in my office. I need. Oh no, I have this one. Let me clean this one out. Actually, it's clean. Give it a good rinse. So a pu'er tea, or at least the show pu'ers, which are easier to brew Western style. Western style typically involves a little bit more water, like a normal teapot's worth of water, whereas Gong Fu style tea is brewed with like little teeny tiny adorable teapots and like a lot of tea in it, and you brew it for like 10 seconds, 20 seconds at a time, and you do that over and over again. But that's like a whole different thing. Show pu'ers take really nicely with the Western one. This is I think it's from Munghai? I think I've lost the label. I'm really bad at remembering which of my teas are which. I just know that I like them. I know which ones that I like. Okay. Lemon juice and salt after hot tea or chamomile with honey and drink it. Onion juice. Make onion tea. Oh, I don't want to make onion tea. Oh, what is next here? Kirkland brand pink Himalayan rock salt. My Kirkland brand Telecherry black pepper grinder. It's just salt and pepper. My bear druid is at 948 and got 5 of 10 heroic, and my girlfriend is 10 of 10 mythic. You've got some catching up to do. How are you liking bear? How are you liking bear taking? And what do you think of the Zandalari Druid bear forms? And like all of their forms. This feral form, the cat form came out today, and I don't know. There's no place in my life for a Zandalari Druid, but man, do I want one. They're so cool. Oh man. You should make Dutch stroopwafel cookies. I have a recipe for you if you want. I'm mostly trying to work through the Hearthstone and WoW cookbook recipes for now, but I will definitely put out a call if when we're taking new suggestions. Hazel's kitchen is like mine, though actually lived in. Like this one looks lived in, or the other one looks lived in, which reminds me, I need to take this down. It's my meal planning board for the week. Oh man. Hold your breath while cutting onions. I'm new to your live cast. I just have to say this is great. Well, thanks for coming, Doreen. I hope that it does good things to your day. Okay. So what is stroopwafels though? Like it sounds like a fun word to say, but that's kind of the extent of my knowledge on the matter. Also, I'm gonna use this teapot, and then I have a tea pick, which is like a little stabby thing that you use to stab off a piece of tea for the tea cake. So there's the tea, and then here's my strainer. It's from another teapot, but it does fit in there. And then I always like drinking pu'er teas from this cup, mostly because of the way it looks. This cup has got like a lot of bright colors and like patterns going on inside, so I find that overpowers a light colored tea, but a dark colored tea can kind of stand up to it. It doesn't matter, but it matters to me. And then take my little tea pick, which is this thing. It like unscrews. There's really fancy ones that look like, you know, all sorts of different things. You can get there was a dragon one that I was looking at that matched one of my dragon teapots, but I realized that I didn't need to spend that much money on a thing to stab my tea with. I could probably do this with a fork, but some of them are more compressed than others. So you just like break off a bit of it. If I was being really precise, I would weigh it, but typically if I'm just making a pot of tea, I'll just do some and kind of crumble it up in here. And then importantly for these ones, I don't really rinse most of my teas, but if I'm making a pu'er tea, I always rinse it first, just because these tend to be kind of dusty, and like a big layer of sort of dust and sediment comes off when you first rinse it, and that way you can sort of get that out of the way and then make sure that what you're drinking is just delicious, delicious tea. If caramel, waffles, and cookies had a delicious baby. Caramel, waffles, and cookies. Alright, well now I have to try it. Hazelnut caramel thin crispy waffle things. The kitchen looks more welcoming than mine. Oh, the lighting seems warmer. The warmness of the lighting was actually just like a plague to me. If you go back and look at some of my older videos, they're like very yellow because this overhead light is like orange, and it's too dark when you turn it off, and there's no way to change the bulbs in it. It's like special weird apartment bulbs. So there's actually some color correction to try and make it less brassy because it gets super, super orange. But it does look nice in person. Alright, get back in there. One of these days I'm going to actually organize my tea cupboard, but not anytime soon. My fishing video made me reactivate WoW, so many little things I need to do before BFA. I've been spending a good amount of time fishing my Void Elf, actually. Things to do before BFA video made me freshly angry. Add to, don't take away, removing things. I mean, to be fair, it's not a very big list of things that are being, like, removed, and the things that they're removing, for example, the Mage Tower Challenge and the Chosen achievement ahead of the curve, and those things are all, I think, understandable to be removed, because if you wait an expansion and let people like gear them, they're no longer valuable at all. Like it's like challenge mode equipment. I don't have any challenge mode equipment from Mob because back in Mob I was not good enough to do challenge modes, and I think that's fine. I think when I see somebody with one of those mogs, it's cool that I can have respect that somebody was able to do that when it was current, and I feel like that's kind of the same deal with artifact appearances. Now, the one case where I think that does not apply, where I do disagree with it only being available for a limited time, is with the Violet Spellwing, same with the whole Grove Warden. And I have that, so it's not like I'm worried about missing out on it myself. It's just, it's not hard enough to get that anybody's going to be terribly impressed that you have it. It's not rare. It's just one of those things that means you were playing during that time and you had access to a heroic group. And I don't think that's a high enough bar of personal achievement. Like, you could just pay for a carry and get it, and the fact that if somebody isn't subbed and they don't do it, then they cannot get it, I think that's a little bit not cool. But it is what it is. I want to know how they're getting rid of our artifacts. I think that's knowable. I feel like people know. I haven't looked it up yet. But I think that there's broadcast text that was data mined. I'm setting a timer for this tea. Broadcast text that was data mined that tells us that. So you can look up spoilers if you are interested in that, I'm pretty sure. I actually picked up a bunch of different teas. I'm not a tea person, but I wanted to find one that I like, so I'm testing lots of different flavors. I love that phase. And the thing I think that I really, really like about drinking tea, like, I always have some around, and typically I'm just like drinking it mindlessly while I'm working. It's just like a warm, comforting thing. But sometimes it can be really nice to just sort of stop everything that you're doing and then just like look at your teacup and then drink a little bit of tea and like try and focus on everything that's in that tea. And it's just like, it's almost meditative for just like 30 seconds taking a break every now and then to just like sit with your tea. I've always found that very recharging. Can you show us using a teapad? Yeah, of course. I gotta grab it though. It's over there. And how much time do I have? I got 5 minutes. I'm gonna unplug myself real quick and grab my tea board just so I can show you, and I can show you the teapad too. Oh, I forgot it was attached. Sorry about that. I hope that wasn't too loud. 10 seconds. Alright. So this is the tea board, and I'll show you the different pieces here. I guess I'm not clipped on my mic. That's the tea board. I'll show you the different pieces. The idea behind the tea board is that, and I'll show you once I get everything off it, the top of it just lifts right out, and it's slatted, and then the bottom of it is watertight. So you basically, while you're making your tea, you pour tea out, like rinse out, and you pour out like your preheating water and whatnot onto the board, and then it just collects in the bottom, and then when you're done with your tea service, you can just dump it out and dry it out then. So your little tea pets will sit on top of there, and then you'll drink and then you'll pour it over. Because I'm not using that board for making this round of tea, what I typically do is I just take like a little, there's a word for these things, I forget, and I just sit him on top of there, just so he doesn't get too messy. And I put it somewhere where it's on camera. Once my tea is ready. This is my teapot. This was a Christmas gift. So this is what I use when I'm making that Gong Fu tea that I told you about, where you do lots of tea, small water, like lots of infusions. It's got like a little lotus on the side of it, and this is unglazed clay, which means that over time it'll absorb the flavors of the tea that I brew in it. So I try and stick to like one category of tea with this one. It's got a very adorable little pour, and it's just like a teeny tiny little thing. And then this piece is, there's a word for it that I forget, but basically what this is it's sort of like a mini pitcher. So when I've made a pot of tea with that, typically the beginning of the pour will be much weaker than the end of the pour when you're brewing in that style. So to make the cup of tea like even, especially if you're sharing with somebody else, you pour the whole pot then into this thing, and it has another strainer component that strains out any additional debris or tea leaves or whatnot. And then from here you pour it into the teacups. It's like this whole thing, and it sounds very fussy, and honestly it kind of is. But that's like the joy of it, you know? You take like an hour and you sit down, and we'll typically play a game of Scrabble because we are cool, hip, young people, and just have some tea. Okay, so I'm gonna take out my tea. I love how like inky and pigmented the pour teas get. And then, I know it's really small, but there's no, you can pour a little over his head. And the rest of it is for me. I don't have good words to describe tea at all. Some people are really good at that. Hot. It's hot. I can describe it as hot. I am not. That type of tea specifically reminds me of raid night now because I usually drink it during raid. Okay, so I'm going to put this back away so that I don't break anything. Oh yeah, I was going to show you the board. So these are typically bamboo, but they can be made out of all sorts of things, and you can just like lift the top of it right out, and then the bottom tea kind of catches in there. I only got into making tea in that style, like, I mean, when I got this set last Christmas. I'd never tried it before that. Fun. I burned my tongue a little bit. I shouldn't have had tea that was that hot. So this goes over here for now. Okay. Ooh. Alright. Why does the mage tower go away? I wish that now that we're well beyond the broken shore, that I kind of wish they would just make it up all the time. Your phone alarm just gave me major anxiety because that's my wake-up alarm. I'm sorry. That the same thing happens to me when TV shows use typical iPhone sounds. Is I always kind of perk up a little bit. Keeping the mage tower and scaling it gives them an excuse to not make more challenges like that. Yeah. You maybe want to cook, so now I'm making teriyaki vegetables and quinoa. That sounds so good. I need to figure out what else I'm having for lunch. I can't just have potatoes for lunch. That's not healthy. Okay. I can probably start preheating the oven and mixing up the things we're going to mix in. So oven's going to preheat to 375. My baking sheet is going to be this one. And whenever it tells me to prepare a baking sheet, I just line it with parchment, and that has never not worked for me. Parchment paper is the most miraculous kitchen innovation of the century. I feel like my family discovered it when I was a teenager, and I just didn't understand how cool it was. Hopefully BFA has a thing like the Mage Tower. I would hope so. I think it's really cool how they've done that. I love hot leaf water. That's a well-extended tea set. What's next? Drinking tea with your foot. You know, if somebody that was well-respected told me that was a thing, I would probably try it once and go, wow, I'm not coordinated enough to make that happen. I watched a movie about a tea pet. I'm thinking it was one of the Da Vinci Codes. I don't know. I didn't see that. Looked at the oven. I thought this was happening in my house. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. All right, so we're going to strain the potatoes, and I'm actually just going to let them sit in the strainer for a second while I mix up the eggs with the salt and the cheese. I do need to shred a cup of cheese. We'll take the potatoes off the heat now because they've had 20 minutes, so those will be done. At no point does it tell me to pick out the cloves of garlic, so I'm kind of tempted to just leave them in there. I don't think I use this pot again, so I can probably just... That's it. Live your life. Oh, I'm caught. Okay, back there. So I need to mix up 2 eggs, beat up 2 eggs, and I'll start with the cheese, I guess. We can grate like a cup of cheese. I used to keep, and I should probably do this again, like once I got a food processor, I went back to doing the thing my family did growing up, where you grate like a whole block of cheese, and then put it in a bag in the freezer, and then whenever you need cheese, you already have pre-grated cheese in the freezer. Not good for anything super fancy, but if you're just like melting cheese in pasta or soup or a sandwich or something. Works fine. But I have been kind of lazy and I haven't done that recently. Also, I feel like it makes me go through cheese more quickly. Like, I eat it more often when it's that convenient. And it's one of the more expensive grocery items. So, although certainly not as expensive here as it was in Canada. Okay. I can almost reach that from here. I guess I shouldn't. I should focus on not grating my fingers. A little more. A little more. We can err a little bit on the side of more cheese rather than less cheese. Is that a cut? A little more. I did, there was an invasion up this morning on my druid, so I did it on my druid to get some more nether shards. And I now have 20 attempts worth of nether shards. If I can't do it in 20 attempts, I'm not going to try and grind out the legendary. I think I just need more practice. Like, I totally had it. The clip that I used in yesterday's video, I was so close. I totally could have finished that. It was the first time I'd ever made it that far, and I kind of panicked. Oh, man. But I've never been able to make it back that far. I tried like another 6 or 7 times after that attempt, and I wasn't able to make it back to that point. I typically get tripped up at the... Squeaky. I typically get tripped up at the part where where you're healing the 3 incoming dudes. Like, I panic, and I mess that up all the time. All the time. Okay, roughly chop the potato, eggs, salt, pepper. So I'm gonna beat 2 eggs in this bowl. And then we'll use this bigger bowl, and we're going to mash them in this, probably with the hand mixer, and that'll help me mix in my eggs and whatnot. Okay, but we'll just beat these first. I'm getting a little bit better at cracking eggs, a little tiny bit. I'd say I managed to crack it without breaking the yolk probably 3.5 out of 5 times now, if we're making up numbers. Grating a cheese yourself is actually better for some recipes. The pre-grated stuff is additive to keep it separate. Well, I mean, the pre-grated stuff I pre-grated myself, but I do actually add a little bit of flour to keep it separated, so I guess it still is additive. I just added it myself. I've been doing dishes and cleaning. She got me some Swedish fish from work. Oh, that sounds good. Canada doesn't really feel any different than the U.S. Everything was really similar. Yeah, I think of all countries to immigrate between, Canada to the U.S. probably has the least amount of culture shock. There were very, very few things that I noted as being different culturally. I did notice there's more things available in America. Shopping online is a little bit easier here. Maybe that's gotten better in Canada. A lot of pricing things are different, like cell service, phone and internet, really expensive and kind of awful in Canada, and it's a lot better here. Even though people complain about it here, it's still a lot better than it is in Canada. And what else? Housing prices, but that's probably just because I came from Victoria. So this is actually an attachment to the mixer. I guess I'm getting the mixer out anyways. I'm getting the mixer out anyways. I can pick it up and plug it in and use that to get those all together. I feel bad for this thing because I never use it now that I have a stand mixer, but every now and then there's something that I feel like is done a little better. Ooh, goodness. Yeah, close enough. I'm really glad that you guys watch baking streams and give me a good excuse to do them, because otherwise I would never make any of this stuff. I'm very much the kind of person that will just make things that I know how to make so that we can eat food and not die. And that's kind of the end of that. Like once every like 7th weekend I'll get kind of antsy and I'll start making like cookies or something, but I've tried all sorts of things that I definitely never would have tried to make before on stream. That's kind of cool. Alright. Eggs are beaten, cheese is grated. Oh no, I need this still. I need that still. So we're gonna mash the potatoes. How much salt and pepper? Just like some? Some? Yeah, some. I need these guys. I won't lie, I go to Canada for poutine. Streamers reminding me that it's almost time for lunch. In Brazil, we eat so differently from you guys. What are some examples? What are some examples? I definitely believe it. I used to go to Ottawa for Canada Day every year, maybe just for poutine. I miss Canada Day in Victoria. Canada Day in downtown Victoria by the waterfront is a blast, and I miss that. I want to go back for that one year. Okay. I guess we're just keeping the potatoes good. They're just going to be in there. So we mash this and add the eggs, some salt and pepper, and some cheddar cheese, and then just stir it, which I'm probably going to do this again, so we'll just stir this. I feel like I should have used a bigger bowl. I'm really scared this is going to make a huge mess. I probably should just use a fork. It's very crumbly. Oh, get back in there. Get. It's okay, we wiped the can at the beginning of the stream. It's definitely cooked. It's very crumbly. I guess once I start adding like egg and cheese, it'll start to stick together a little bit more. I chose a much too small bowl. Parmesan has sawdust, not actual sawdust, but cellulose. I would believe that Parmesan had like the kind that you get in a big plastic thing has actual sawdust. It's not usually terribly flavorful. I like getting the bricks of fresh Parmesan from Costco. Those are usually pretty good. So, guys, what's cooking? Sup, Blabby? We're doing like a potato thing, and I'm trying to mash potatoes without having them fly into everywhere, and it's kind of a problem. Maybe I just stab them with this. Have you ever been to the UK? No, I've never been outside of America and Canada. I have never been outside of those two countries. And I've only ever even been to the East. I guess I've been to the East Coast like once in Canada and once in America, but for the most part, I have stayed right in the Pacific Northwest. I would love to visit all sorts of places. I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of perspective for having never seen how other people live. I would love to travel and meet people and eat different types of food, although I'm sure it would also be very scary. It's something I wouldn't be used to for sure. But this is very crumbly still. Probably because I'm mixing it and not mashing it. I guess I should just grab like a spoon. All right, we'll use a spoon. We'll use a spoon. Well, we'll unhand the high-tech gadget, or medium-tech gadget that's really just a motor. I love that you do these shows. Inspires me to get out of my own cooking rut. Norma isn't here, but we'll watch later. Can you tell her hi? Of course. Hi, Norma. I hope you had a good time at work, or, you know, as good of a day at work as you have at work. A satisfying day at work. I find that a good day at work can often be satisfying. Ever heard of a potato masher? Because they exist. I know. I've never done this before, and that means that there is really no reason for me to own a specialized tool for it. There is limited drawer space in my life. I don't own a lemon juicer either, or a garlic press. I just chop garlic. Also, I definitely, speaking of garlic, I definitely left it in here. All right. So I feel like this is still very warm. Like, I let these cool for a bit. I'm really concerned about them just cooking the eggs as soon as I add them. I guess I can start with the I don't want them to separate the cheese either. Salt and pepper is pretty easy. Salt and pepper is pretty safe. That's a pretty safe thing to add. More milk and butter. We're doing we're baking them after this. This is not the last stage. This is a mid stage. We're making a little crispy baked potato dollop bite things. All right, well, it's starting to look more like mashed potatoes. All right. Is that cool enough? I can poke it and it doesn't hurt. I bet that won't cook the eggs anymore. I think it has to be pretty hot to cook the eggs. I feel like this is going to be really hard to incorporate. It looks kind of gross. Actually, no. You know what? That's actually going in quite nicely. Woo! That's kind of fun. I assume that's going to make it stick together a lot better. All right, now that's starting to look like something that we can dollop. I may be biased, but I think that Brazil's food is the best. Malfurion would be proud. Malfurion is probably still... Man, I can't take him seriously anymore. Ever since Darkheart Thicket, I cannot. His voice acting just kills me. Alright. Okay. Which is a shame because he used to be like one of my favorite characters. But Anduin kind of took him over. I guess if they gave Anduin some really cheesy voice lines, then I'm gonna not be able to take him seriously either. I think I should try our pizzas. What's different about a Brazilian pizza? I'm intrigued. If you are cooking along at home, at this point you can add bacon bits if you so choose to do so. Squish, squish. Oh, yeah, you guys can probably hear that, sorry. Well, I mean, maybe some people are into it. I don't know. I've been watching this show, okay? I've been watching this show on Netflix. I told you guys I like K-dramas. I'm not super ashamed of that. And there's this one on Netflix, and it's called Let's Eat. And it's like your normal, goofy, kind of cheesy, romantic K-drama. But it's also, like, part that, and then they have these food scenes, like, probably 2 or 3 an episode, that are like 5 minutes long each, and it's nothing but gratuitous shots of people eating and like plating their food and serving their food and feeding each other and like close-ups of the food and close-ups of their mouths and people going, that's really good. For like 5 minutes at a time, like 3 times an episode. It's like those eating streams. And I'm convinced that it's just for people to like vicariously, that people that are like dieting and don't want to eat to like watch other people eat to torture themselves. I don't know, but it's just the most bizarre thing. It was really funny for a while, but I eventually had to start fast-forwarding through it because it's a long time to just sit there and watch somebody eat when you're, I'm not even hungry. I probably usually just had lunch. Oh, man. Making me hungry. I work in the shelter and I'm not allowed to adopt a hairless kitty because my husband thinks they're scary, but they're cute. I feel like kitties are cute. I mean, they're cute because they're fluffy and adorable, but they're also cute because of their personalities and their, like, how individual their personalities can be, I find. Alright, that's so squeaky. So at this point, am I ready to dollop? Stir, drop onto the prepared baking sheet in large tablespoons full, and then we're going to bake for about 30 minutes. So let's do that. Let me get this thing out of my way. Man, I'm so excited for Overwatch League this afternoon. Seoul is fighting Shanghai Dragons at 4, and it's just going to be great because Seoul is my team, so I'm cheering for them, and they're probably going to win because they're fighting Shanghai Dragons. And even if they somehow lose, that's not even a bad thing because it's the Shanghai Dragons, and they're 14-0. They gotta win sometime. I heard that they dropped their coach. They dropped their coach, and they have their assistant coach taking over until the new one gets there. And it's spicy Overwatch League days. Do you think Malfurion cried so much in Valshura because he cut his onions wrong? He probably just needed a pair of swimming goggles. Is probably what was up with that. Somebody just sent him a piece of bread to stick in his mouth. He's gonna be just fine. But then he'll probably be like, Toronto, I love you. But that was a terrible impression of having bread in your mouth. I don't know if I've ever tried to talk with bread in my mouth. So this is weird. I feel like I'm making cookies now, except they're cookies made out of potatoes. That is the most disgustingly large tablespoonful I've ever seen in my life. That's fine. They can be a little bit big. These smell really good. I think I'm pleased with my decision to keep the garlic in. I feel like it's an important part of this whole thing. Although hers look like they were piped, and it didn't tell me anywhere to pipe them, and usually I will not pipe something unless explicitly ordered to because it's such a pain in the butt. Or at least it is for me. You gotta like get a whole bag, and then you gotta like squeeze, and ugh. So I didn't do any of that, but mine kind of just look like potato piles. I guess sometimes when you pipe things in too neat of like a perfect little gloop spiral, people start saying it looks like the poop emoji. Alright, these are definitely not an inch apart. I have done a terrible job with this. Scooch! Scooch! Oh, they're kind of sticky. I don't think they're going to move. Alright, well, whatever. What's the worst thing that happens? 2 potatoes stick together? We can deal with that. Oh, shoot, there's eggs in that. Well, too late. Not supposed to eat it raw. Alright, so let's pop that in. And I guess I'm going to start working on the second sheet. I can probably just put the second one underneath as long as I keep the timer separate. So the top one's timer is going to be for 30 minutes. And then I'm going to make another sheet, and then I'll set a separate timer for that one to make sure they get done same amount of time. I'm going to try and fit the rest of this onto one sheet this time because I did not ration my space very effectively. You push them back, now press the attack. I love those naked cats. They're just misunderstood. I mean, I feel like they're always gonna, I mean, I don't know about always, but I feel like they're often gonna have homes just, people that really love cats but are like really, really allergic. There's to the hair anyways. It's a valid solution, and it's like the only solution. I live for the Overwatch League. I'm an Outlaws gal, so I love the dragons too. I can't wait for Gaguri to join, right? There was the most sick clip from her stream of her and the new hero Brigitte. It was just insane. She got like Roadhog hooked over an edge, and then she uses like the boost thing to like 180 boop herself back onto her own edge, and she moves so fast you can't even see it until you've watched it for like the third time. And you know, she's got her little Hachimari there on her mouse pad, and on voice she's like, oh dear, like in Korean. And then she's like, oh, okay, we're good. Like, goodness gracious, I cannot wait for her to join that team. I hope that the visa process doesn't take too long, and then I hope that integration with the team goes okay, considering that she's gonna have to learn. I think they're learning English because they're gonna be in LA and because it's Overwatch League, and they're also gonna need to learn Mandarin. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody like at once, but I am so excited. I'm so happy that she got signed. Yeah, this'll fit. This'll fit. We're good. It's kind of making me hungry. What else? What am I gonna serve with these? Like, it's already starchy, so I don't really need to make like rice or anything. I need like a protein. I have eggs. I have canned tuna and salmon. I have. Oh, you know what I can make? Probably not on stream, but sometimes I do like a spinach salad, and I'll like stir fry some salmon with a little bit of sesame seeds and soy sauce and ginger, and like maybe a little garlic too sometimes, and then I like put that on the salad, like the spinach salad, and that might go with this. That might be a thing. Mushroom gravy. Oh man, you're right. It would probably be good. I'm so lazy. Hazel, now you have 8 different colors of salmonella. Probably true. There we go. Do you have a good Earl Grey that you can recommend? Well, I just really got into the world of Earl Grey yesterday. Or not yesterday, on Saturday when I opened Amy's package. And, so, I mean, I can recommend that one. Because I've been drinking this. This is really good. It's from the East India Company. It's from England. They sell it. It's a little bit expensive compared to other Earl Greys, which is why it was like a really generous gift. And I haven't tried any other ones. I'm probably going to try the Harney one at some point. They have like a Supreme Earl Grey that you can get, and I might give that a go. Long time to watching the stream. How have you been? Salmon burgers. I am a pescatarian. That's true. I do eat fish and seafood. I do not eat chicken, poultry, or like pork or beef or anything like that. I wanted to show my husband her new teacup. My the purple one is actually still on my desk from my morning's cup of tea. I made a little bit of Chinese black tea, and this is kind of blasphemous, but I served it with a little bit of milk, kind of like the Earl Grey, and it was actually really good. I feel like the best tea is the tea that you're enjoying, so I try not to judge anybody too much for what they want to put in it. I like it because of the addition of orange blossom. So the other ones don't do that then, huh? Is that like a unique one that has the orange blossom, like the neroli oil? Because I really liked it. And over the first like 3 days, I must have made it like 4 times. You've been good. Kind of hard to watch your streams because I live in Norway. Yeah, I know the times definitely aren't good for everybody. I feel like we do a morning one now, and we do an afternoon one. So the one time frame that's really, oh, that's good. The one time frame that's really missing is like late night. Oh, I forgot to put it. I have potatoes sitting on my counter that I didn't put in the oven. Whoops. Throw those at the bottom. Those will be 30, maybe a few more minutes because they're like really far down to the bottom of the oven. They might take a little longer. But we'll give those like 32 minutes. All right. I should probably wash some dishes, huh? I should clean up. If you could recommend one tea, what would it be? Everybody always asks me this, and it's really hard. It really depends on your taste and what you're looking for from tea. There's just such a wide variety of them. Others have bergamot, but not the orange blossom. Oh, okay. You're an English breakfast person? Salmon with lemon cream sauce and potatoes is great. Roasted cod could be good too. I've never tried making a lemon cream sauce with salmon. I make salmon, I like doing it, I actually did this last night. the firecracker salmon from the WoW cookbook is really good. It's salmon. You marinate it with vegetable oil, balsamic vinegar, soy sauce. Vegetable oil, balsamic vinegar, soy sauce, and then there's like some brown sugar. There's some spices which include like ginger and cardamom, juniper berries if you have them, which I still don't. I never bought any. I've been putting some of the spices in there, and then it's good. You just basically marinate the salmon overnight, or like for an afternoon or whatever, and then you broil it, and then it's delicious. And I've been having that over like brown rice. Anyway, I'm getting hungry. Hazel, a long time viewer, I just wanted to say I love your videos. Thanks for coming by the stream. PG Tips, very lowbrow. I wanted to try, because they sell both PG Tips and Yorkshire, the Yorkshire, is it Yorkshire Tea, Yorkshire Gold, Yorkshire something. They sell them both on Amazon. I was wanting to pick them up next time I order something on Amazon, just to like try them out. Try the really popular classic British breakfast teas. I'm looking for a relaxing tea to calm my anxiety. I always really like green teas for that. I like green teas for that a lot. I find that higher caffeine tends to be worse for my anxiety, and like a lower caffeine tea tends to be a little more soothing. There's jasmine green teas are really nice for that, I think, and most places will make one. I lost my WoW cookbook. Oh no! Do you use a tea bowl? I use a big strainer. I put it somewhere. I had it. Oh yeah, it's this one. This came with, so it's pretty big. It's basically like a tea ball, but it's huge, and it gives the tea leaves lots of room to expand, because some of them, especially my oolong teas, they're rolled and they're like whole leaves, and you want to really give them enough space. So this actually came with my 4Life teapot, which is on my Amazon recommendations list, but it's, it basically does the same thing. I like to cook an apple in with my mash. I actually put an apple in my potato soup last time that I made it, because I ran out of potatoes. I ran out of potatoes and I needed like another half pound of something, and I had an apple in my fridge. I was like, all right, well, what's the worst thing that can happen? Do you like genmaicha? I do. I do like genmaicha, and I also enjoy hojicha. I kind of use them interchangeably in the evenings when I want that kind of, I mean, I guess they do taste quite different, but I enjoy the Japanese ones in the evenings. You ever go to Teavana? I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan myself. They're fine, and I'm not going to judge anybody for enjoying them, but they're kind of expensive, and there's a lot of add-ins in their tea that are not tea. And there's nothing wrong with that kind of tea, but if I'm going to have like a heavily flavored tea or a tea with a lot of other stuff in it, there's cheaper places to get it. Alright, I was going to do dishes. The dishwashing angle here. Okay. And this one. So, with the allied races in BFA, Horde are getting 2 new races that can be druids with High Mountain Tauren and Zandalari druids. And Alliance don't have any. And up until this point it's been even. If they were to add druid to an additional Alliance race or 2, what do you think they would do? Do you think that they would add a new allied race that can then be druids? And if so, what new allied race option is like on the horizon that could be a druid? Or do you think that they would add it to an existing one of our races? Like, what do you guys think? Or do you think it's just going to be uneven forever? Because, I mean, I guess that could happen. It's probably, like, obviously it's beginning to happen because there's no plans for another Alliance allied race that includes druids as far as I know. Dark Iron Dwarf certainly can't do it. Hi Hazel, I was finally able to catch you live. Welcome to the stream, Ryan. I hate the cold. Thank you for understanding fat fingering. Oh man, all the time. It's worse for me when I'm under pressure, which means that I fat finger pretty often in arena, usually when it's like the worst possible thing to do. Always my trinket. I'm always fat fingering my PvP trinket. And it's usually versus like a rogue mage team, and they're like, oh, okay then. You're done now. Goodbye. Like, oh no. That is actually the worst button I could have pressed at that moment. Not that I'm terribly good at managing my trinket otherwise, but the effort's nice. Could Jinyu be fish druids? Man, if they had a Jinyu, I'd be down for Jinyu fish druids. I feel like and I've said this before, I feel like the diversity of the Zandalari troll druid forms opens up a lot of options for other races being druids with druid forms that are not traditionally cat bear. I mean, Moonkin. There's still obviously going to be the archetypes because they still need to be the spec. But I think that there's a lot more options. I could see a Ginyu. Well, the problem with the fishers is it would be so cool if they had like a whale bear form and then like a shark cat form, but you know that's going to look super dumb just like flopping around on the ground, you know, like we saw that with the Western Plaguelands Zenkiki questline. It's not scary at all. So I feel like it would probably be a land-based theme. But like the Zandalari are kind of going dino style with it. What else can we do? I want more options. I want more druid options. Worgen. I mean, we already have Worgen. Worgen were added at the same time as regular troll druids. And then of course we had originally Night Elves and Tauren. And I guess it's just because the two of the Horde allied races are directly allies of those races. Like if they added a Night Elf allied race to Alliance, like obviously Nightborn use modified Night Elf models, but if they added another version of Night Elves to the Alliance that had some kind of other thing, then they could do that, or if they added a different type of Worgen. I don't think they would do that. I don't know. I feel like if they added a Worgen allied race without fixing Worgen models first, people would be so mad. People would be so mad. Alright, that'll do. Kind of in the camera, that's fine. A Draenei druid that turns into a goat? Oh dear. Have you been doing Trial of Style? No, I'm saving it. I'm saving Trial of Style for Friday's stream. Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific, I'll be going live and doing that for pretty much the whole stream, probably. I'm going to be trying to get a win in on each of the 4 armor types, and I don't know if I can do that within 2 hours, but we'll try. I'm also probably just going to be winging my transmogs. I'm not going to really set anything up ahead of time because I feel like that's no fun. Furbolg druids, Fell Elves, Pandaren, or Nightborn. I think it's weird that Draenei can't be druids. I think that it's a little bit restrictive to not allow more races to be druids lore-wise, because I feel like we can teach anybody how to do anything. You know? If you have a connection to some kind of higher spirit that will allow you to do cool stuff, then I don't see why a Night Elf can't teach you how to do it. Obviously, we can't have druids on every race because that would just be a lot of art for all the different forms and animations and whatnot. But we can get another one. I'm asking you guys for ideas. I don't have any good ideas. New trial style category, Zen. Oh man, that sounds like my thing. Furbolgs are allied with Night Elves, so why not? They said data mining doesn't necessarily mean playable. Imagine if the Zandalari forms. Zandalaris are confirmed as an allied race, though. And just on record, I know I say things are not technically confirmed yet for a lot of races that people consider confirmed. Just by my criteria, and this is just me, and I believe that Magheart Orcs are as likely to happen as anybody else, but by my criteria, for a race to be confirmed, for us to apply confirmed to a race, for me, it's got to be on the Battle for Azeroth website, or there must be a blue post confirming it, like saying in no uncertain terms, this will be a thing. Those are the 2 things that will qualify it as being confirmed for me. I don't care who said what in an interview, I don't care what's been data mined, I don't care what's... I guess if it's playable on the alpha, that would be a 3rd thing. Like if it's actually like you can create a character as that thing on the alpha, I would also consider that as confirming it. But everything else, I will still believe it as much as the next person, and it'll be a strong rumor, but I'm not going to personally apply the word confirmed to it. And I know a lot of people won't agree with that, and that's fine. That's just my logic behind when I say that. I prefer to be a little conservative with that. It would suck to advertise something as confirmed and then it doesn't happen and then it's my fault. Okay. Did I wash all my dishes? I think I did. Oh, there's another one back there. 15 minutes on the first one. I'm kind of hungry. I guess I can just pull up a stool and grab my tea and chat for a little while longer. Or I can make I'm not going to make mushroom gravy. I'm too lazy for that. I might be persuaded to make some salad. Do I have any ginger? I know I have spinach. I just want my ethereal Tuskar druids. Gotta head to German now, have a good rest of the stream. I really don't want Volterra to be playable. I highly doubt the druid forms are just for NPCs. Yeah, that would be a lot of work for just NPC druid forms, I think. People are still upset that the Nightborns can't be druids, so it makes sense that they can't. I can make sense of that. Druids of the Flame? like as a night elf sub race, that would be something else. That would be a trip and a half. Oh man. Kobold and Trog? Maybe. I feel like they would want to make, like, do people really want to play those? I feel like kobolds and trogs are not very, like, heroic player fantasies. You know? I'm sure there's some people that play them, just like there's some people that play gnomes, but... Milk or no milk with red bush tea? I think personal preference. I like to drink it without milk. I drink it without milk, but some people definitely do take it with milk. I would say try it both ways and then follow your heart. One of my kitties wants to tell you very important things, but I don't know what they are. He perches here for head scritches, and it periodically checks out my viewing. Wow. Hi, dear kitty. Meow. Where's mine? I typically meow at her, and I'm looking to see if she's jealous. My dog is passed out on the couch. I don't know where my cat's gone. This is from the Hearthstone Cookbook. That's true. People love the underdog. Your cat is on your shoulder at the moment. If you guys haven't, if you haven't yet, and you're interested, I have a Discord now, like a fan Discord where we like talk outside of streams, and there's a pet pics channel, and it was the best idea ever because it's just like this never-ending stream of adorable pictures of you guys' dogs and cats and whatnot, and they're all precious, and I love them. Favorite brand of tea? It's not really a brand, but my favorite vendor is probably still Unit Sourcing. I think I've had the most absolute winners from there. My cat Soda is watching you. Oh, you're right, Seth. I should set up a Discord command. I didn't do the tattoo one yet either. I should. Stutters in the sound in 1080 and 720, but streams fine sound at 480. That's bizarre. I'll check it out later. I'm gonna grab a stool and figure out what else I'm gonna make for lunch. Potatoes and... Probably should have thought this through a little earlier. Oh, man. Where do you want to see the Night Elves take refuge? I hope Gilneas is transformed. Oh, that would be good. That would be really good. I would get a big kick out of that. If they repurpose the city of Gilneas, because it's been, like, that was such a beautiful area. It was just abandoned after, just completely abandoned after, like, the starting area. Like, it was only ever used for the starting area. We would have to take it back, though, but also, you know, if the undead can burn down the tree, we can take back Gilneas, right? Or did we take it back already? I forget. But that would be neat. That would be neat. It'll be really lame if they just cram into Stormwind, you know? Stormwind is busy enough, and apparently it's going to have its issues, too. You want Broken Draenei to join the Alliance, but that'd be the second Draenei allied race already? Back when everybody was talking allied races originally, Broken was the prevailing theme for what Draenei's allied race would be, so it was kind of surprising when they came up with, like, a new one. Not that surprising, because I would say that Lightforged Draenei are, and because they use the classic Draenei models, they're quote-unquote more appealing. And also, a lot of these allied race ideas that would look vastly different, like Broken and regular Draenei, like the whole point of allied races, I think, not the whole point, but a large point of the allied races from a Blizzard perspective is that they don't have to make new models. Whereas with Broken, they would probably have to make new models, unless they have, like, new Broken that look like Draenei but have more scars, you know? Arakoa Druid, Bearbird. Oh man, if we got Arakoa or Bird people, that would be cool. Like, you could have them be, like, we have all sorts of different types of them. We have the bird people that we had in Spires of Iraq and Draenor. They would make good druids. Your new computer came in today? Nice, nice. Have fun getting that set up. I'll have to get back to work. Mash Delish, thanks. Have a good time at work. I forgot why Broken weren't a customization option for Draenei to begin with. It's just more model work, more different types of models. I mean, you could say the same thing about humans not being able to be Valkyr or yeah. Where are my Valkyr? Or not Valkyr? What am I talking about? No, not Valorhard. That's different. Vrykul. That's the word I'm looking for. That's the one. SK leaves today. I mean, in my heart, he left 2 days ago back because he was more or less on his way. He'll be back though. He'll be back. Oh man, those cat people from Draenor would make good druids. The cat people from Draenor. Oh, Those were a druid. I don't think that we would get those because those have already been used in druids as a talent. Like the Saberon form was a thing in Warlords. Did they get rid of Saberon form after Warlords? I think they must have because I haven't seen one since. I did not. I was always kind of unnerved by the weirdly muscular man-cat thing. Or the Manther, as many people have decided to call it. Oldham cat people? Too many legs, I think. They wouldn't wear armor properly. Same reason, I think they said somewhere about ally, and maybe I'm just making this up, maybe I just dreamed this, but I thought I heard somewhere, sorry I brought my mics, I thought I heard somewhere about allied races they're considering everything with 2 legs, which kind of rules out Naga, and it would also rule out the Tolvir. Shavara, please, I want my kitty people. I mean, Shavara aren't kitties, Shavara are those demon ladies with all the arms. I wanted, that's the other Draenei race that I actually kind of wanted was Eridar. And I don't even play Horde, but I want Horde to get Eridar Draenei. I think that would be cool. Created a Shadow Priest for my sister and she loves it. They're fun. They're super fun. I love the plant people. Oh, yeah, the Botany? Is that what they were called? The people from Shadowmane Valley, those were cool. I guess they were in other places too. The stream is still on. I had pizza for lunch and shopping. Fast lunch. Yeah, we've been up for like, what, an hour? Hour and 20? Yeah, we've been up for an hour and 20. Baking streams are usually between like 1 hour and 2 hours, depending what it is that we're making. We're going to be another 8 minutes or so, and we can pull the potatoes out of the oven and try them, and then we'll be about done. Culture and humans, you've seen the men druid into gorilla form? Oh, boy. Keep holding out hope for Hosen as a playable race. I think you might be waiting a while on that one. I mean, you could always be wrong, but I love Dryads, but it's probably too hard. I would love to see, like, if Alliance was going to get a Night Elf option, I would love to see them get, like, Nymphs and Dryads, but again, the number of legs thing, it's just too much for making the armor fit. Like, they could always come up with, like, a new sub-race and be like, oh, we've been keeping these mutant dryads in a cave because they only had 2 legs and they look like elves, but they're flowerier. But, yeah. Started snowing like crazy here? Oh, no. Would love to play an Eridar. I think they'd be cool. And I think they would be distinct enough from regular Draenei that it would really be its own thing. Kind of like, I don't feel like Void Elves feel that much like Blood Elves, despite the fact that they look exactly like Blood Elves. I think that the differences in appearance and coloring, I think, make them significantly different. You want the fish people from Jade Forest, the Jinyu? Yeah. I feel like Jinyu are more likely than Hosen. I don't think they're very likely. The Wayland Cavern Pet Dungeon weekly restricted to per tune or per account. It is weekly restricted per account, once per week per account. Per region. I mean, you could do it on a U and a NA, but that won't do you any good. I wish you the best of luck on getting what you're looking for. I never did get the ever-living spore on my own. Somebody eventually took pity on me and sent me one. I farmed that dungeon every week for ages. We're gonna get about 18 inches of snow tonight and tomorrow. That's a ton of snow. Man, it's been a long time since I've had to actually prepare for snow. Like, when you get bad weather around here, it's bad, but nothing really shuts down. Like, at worst, you stay inside for a day. But I remember back home, like in the winters when you would get the bad snowstorms, like we would stock up on groceries and canned goods and water and just to make sure everything was good. One Eridar Warlock, 2 legs bad, 4 legs good. What would a female Jinyu look like? Were there not female Jinyu? I thought there were. Maybe there weren't. Maybe I'm misremembering that. Do they use Night Elf model skeletons or human ones? I actually don't know. You bought your store for 1 mil. You bought your store. I don't understand. They use Night Elf skeletons? Aloha from Germany. Someone else up here in the northeast, getting dumped on by the storm currently. It's been pretty tame out here around Portland. We had a couple weeks where it was really cold, but now it's just been like, 50s and chilly and gray, but not even all that rainy. Oh, your spore. Okay, that makes more sense. Honestly, I'm worth it. Like, for the if you're a pet collector and you need all of them, and I relate to that, absolutely worth it. With the amount of time and the drop rate of that thing, it's a bit ridiculous. What do female ogres look like? They don't look like anything, and I think that's why we won't get them. I mean, maybe lore-wise they look exactly the same as male ogres, and we were just assuming, but I don't know if they'll ever go there. Kind of disappointed they didn't say anything about Hatun and the others from Argus. We could get one of the demon races in Allied Race now that the Legion's been defeated. Yeah, maybe. I don't see why not. Light Nezrithim, ooh, that would be a good one. You plan on farming the spore to sell on my 4 accounts. Would love a demon race. You are the #1 pet collector on Cortag. Grats! I used to dream of being #1, but Lightbringer is very competitive, and I've settled for being somewhere within the top, 15. I used to want to be top 10, and usually around the beginning of a patch I can get into the top 10 because I usually try and get the new pets right away. But then I get overtaken by people that have more old collector's edition pets. I don't have any of the old BlizzCon pets or the old collector's edition pets. And I'm also missing a couple of other ones like the stunted Direhorn that I just never bothered to do. Not very cold, so the snow isn't sticking to the driveway. It keeps landing and just assimilating into the water. Do you think that I should level a different priest to use just for Shadow? I mean, Holy is a main spec, and not a lot of gear I have is towards that spec, so no haste. You know, it would be easier to just start building a second gear set on your present priest, but that's also kind of a pain in the butt. I kind of like setting up, and alright, so the correct answer is no, just make another make another gear set on your existing priest and start collecting haste gear. But the thing that I would actually do, which is not the efficient thing to do, but I actually would make a new priest, because then you can kind of create a backstory in your head as to that character as a Shadow priest, like a very distinct identity. You can pick a different race if you think that a different race would look really cool as Shadow, and then you can focus that character specifically on Shadow gear from the get-go. And if it's an ally race, you can level it from scratch and get the heritage armor, you know? It's just like an extra thing to do. It would take you way longer, and it's not really worth it, but that's what I would do. Pet fights have ranks. So PvP pet battles do not have ranks. They're inherently imbalanced, and it would be really ridiculous if they added a ladder. It would be funny, but ridiculous. But there's a website called Warcraft Pets, and that collects players' pet collections, and your pet collection is then ranked based on things like how many pets you have, the overall quality of your pets, like whether or not you've upgraded them to rare quality, and the overall average level of your pets. So in order to be a top pet collector in your server, you want to have collected every pet that you can possibly collect, have them all upgraded to rare, and have them all leveled at 25. And that's usually what's going to get you there. Any good place in WoW to go level a pet from 1 to 25? For the first time, I would say do the pet charm thing, get a Boon of the Zookeeper from the pet shop in Dalaran, put that on your shoulders. Over a week or so, you should get enough pet charms to drop to buy a battle upgrade stone, and then that just gets you your first one. After that, you can then purchase more level 25 pets, or start doing 2 pet grinds. It is battle pet bonus week right now. If you're really set on grinding wild pets, my favorite spot is still the Wormrest Temple, but grinding wild pets isn't really nearly as fast as 2-petting tamers. And honestly, I don't even do that anymore. I just go full in on farming pet charms, because if you have a couple of alts and you have a couple of teams that can do battle pet dailies, you don't even need to 2-pet them. If you can just do the battle pet dailies in Legion on a couple characters, you know, today, for example, on North America, there's, I think, 2 pet dailies up that both reward 15 plus pet charms. So you go do that on a couple characters, and all of a sudden you've got enough charms for a couple of free instant boost pets, and that's faster than it would have been to grind those through 2 pets. So it's definitely better that way, I think. How much longer on food? 1 minute, we're almost done. I'm probably going to need to let them cool down at least a little bit, lest we have a tongue burning incident 2.0, but give it a go at least. I got my Void Elf Heritage Armor and decided not to use it. That's the ultimate expression of power. You know, you have it, and you can take it or leave it. It's an option. You don't need it. Warcraft Pets only shows people who have made an account there. That is true. That is true. I do think that overall, on average, the type of player that is going to be maxing out their pet collection like that is very likely to have made an account at Warcraft Pets. I'm sure not all of them. There's got to be outliers, but as a general rule, that level of intensity of pet collecting has typically engaged with that kind of community. Not always, but mostly. Can you still get the pet from Dalaran books? You collect the A books from Dalaran. Yeah, the Kirin Familiar is still available. That is, I believe, still in old Dalaran. You got to go to the Northrend Dalaran, but I think you can still get it. Do you want more tattoos? Yeah, I do. I want to get my other arm done, and I have plans for both of my legs as well. But it's kind of expensive, and also I've been kind of lazy about trying to find a tattoo artist in Portland that I really like. I kind of half-heartedly look through some portfolios, but it's such a big commitment, and it's kind of a lot of money, and I do really want to get my other arm done though. I'm just lopsided like this. Okay, let's see. Ooh. All right. Actually, those bottom ones look done too. They are crispy and browning on the top, so I'm gonna take those out as well. Okay. They smell really good. So I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna take a little plate. I shouldn't have put my stool away. I'm still gonna need it for a second here. And scoop up a couple of these. I'm not gonna eat them just yet because they're gonna be hot. It's, you know, ovens. Generally speaking, how they work. Put this here for now. Oh man, your oven scared me. It sounded like mine. I'm a huge pet collector, but I don't have a Warcraft pets account. That I focus on mounts more than pets. You aim for asymmetry. Symmetrical compositions tend to not look as interesting. I'm just now getting into pets. I scoffed at the idea ever since Mists. It's fun. I'm never going to pretend it's as like intense or difficult, especially strategy-wise. I'm never going to pretend that the strategies are like terribly like, you don't need a degree. You don't really need a whole bunch of spreadsheets. There's probably a better way to do it, but when I'm working at strategies for videos, I use a lot of trial and error. And it's not terribly difficult. It's been fun though. I like collecting. You just want the Falcon Sword mounts? I do have a video on that. If you're missing any of the parts, but if you're just working the dailies, then they're just kind of, they are what they are. Those are cool though. It took me ages to get the last one. I was so lazy on finishing off that grind. Like I did most of it. I got 3 of the mounts and I was like, well, I'm good for now. I'm tired. I don't want to do any more dailies. So they're mashed potatoes, but they're like little distinct like thingies. They kind of look like the what do they call them? The other ones that we made from this cookbook, the savories that were like the little cheesy pastry things that had baked apple on top. They kind of look like that. Oh my. Oh, that's good. I can see how you'd want gravy with them, but they're not dry at all. They're a little bit chewy. Gotta go to work, see Hazel and chat. Work. Fun. What kind of food are you making? So these are like mashed potato bites. Like they're mashed potatoes that have then been rebaked, or baked, I guess, into little bite-sized dollops. The Hearthstone Cookbook in general is like half of it is cocktail recipes, which I have not done on stream for obvious reasons. And then the other half of it is split between like bar food, like party food, you know, snacks, appetizers, and bar food, and then desserts. And it's very much like it would be a really great book to have around for a party, like a themed WoW party or a Hearthstone party. It'd be so cool. Greetings from Brazil. I got into pet collection 2 years ago during the Halloween events. I was above Undercity and saw the ghost pets. After that, it just snowballed. I'll never forget getting my first pet and finding out what pets were. I was running, I've told the story a billion times, but I was running Dead Mines. I was running Dead Mines on my level like 40 hunter back in Wrath because I had just leveled to 40 and I thought it was a big shot. And I was like, wow, you know that dungeon I was like struggling to do with my group? I can go back and do that by myself, right? And my friends were like, yeah, I guess you can go back and do it by yourself. I was like, all right, I'm going. I like went back and was soloing the dungeon. It's level 40, feeling all cool. Power drop. I'm like, what is this? And my friends were like, oh, hey, cool, you got a pet. You can sell that. And I'm like, what do you mean? What happens if I keep it? And they're like, well, you'll have a parrot. And I'm like, give it. It's mine. I'm not selling my buddy. He chose me. I like to think that the copy of my parrot that I have in the account, the Green Wing Macaw, is still that same one. Aha, that's good. The counterfeit coins. The counterfeit coins were the pickle slices. I'm thinking of the, the mysterious Chef's Autumn Savories. They look a lot like those things. Those things were really good. They were weird, but they were really good. It makes me want to have people over. Makes me want to have people over and like cook food for them. Like an Overwatch viewing party. I had the weirdest dream last night that I had gone to the Overwatch League, like to watch it in person, and I was so excited about getting to sit in one of the aisle seats so that I could like maybe have a chance at like high-fiving the Soul players as they came out. I was like so excited about it. But I had gone with this friend who like was an invention of the dream, like not even somebody that I know. Like just like an imaginary person. And this imaginary person wouldn't let me sit in that seat. She's like, no, it's my seat. I'm like, well, do you want to, you're not even a fan. She's like, yeah, no, I don't really care. I'm just here for you, but you can't sit here. And then I got really lost in the arena and I was trying to find my way back to my seat, but it suddenly turned into a high school. And I was like trying to figure out how to get back so that I could watch the game. But I was still really excited to be there and watch it. One day I'll be able to watch one of those games in person. They're probably going to be really expensive by the time that I get around to that. Because like the tickets right now I think are like $20. Like they're not that expensive to go see an Overwatch League game if you're in the Burbank, California area. You can just go. And it's going to be like a couple of seasons before I get around to like actually getting to California, because it's pretty far. It's like a flight in order to see something like that. And the tickets are going to be way more expensive by then, because I bet you anything they're going to raise the price as demand goes up, assuming that the league continues to grow. You collect things in WoW, but you never use them. I got a Hyacinth Macaw back when it was still white, before I knew how rare it was. I hope that you didn't delete it or anything. That would be tragic. I leveled my engineer to 800 just to get the Blingtron. Use it every day. Still have not gotten to knock out Blingtron. Oh no. Hearthstone party at Hazel's house. That would be one factor part. That would be a lot of people. I don't think we're technically allowed to have like parties. I think there's like a limit to the number of people you can have over at one time. The rules here are bizarre. I should look around and see if there's any Overwatch League watch parties around Portland to go to. Cause like, there's gotta be, right? Like, it's a pretty big city. We don't have like a team here. So it's not like places where like, I know in Houston there's like big Outlaws watch parties because it's like, you know, it's a city, they match the team. Or there's no Portland Panthers, it's not a thing. Maybe it will be one day. Still haven't gotten a Blingtron Lego that's on my to-do list for Legion. Yeah, I never saw one either. Alright. I'm gonna clean up and find something else to eat, or maybe I'll just eat these for lunch and then regret it later. But I'm gonna clean up and go. Tomorrow's video is going to be that leveling one that I mentioned earlier. I'm gonna finish that off and then get that out tomorrow. Streaming on Friday, Trellis style. Pardon me. Streaming on Friday, Trellis style, 3 p.m. Pacific, normal time, normal place. Thanks for coming.